Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Did it work?
Did it?
We are, in fact, live.
We are live. Oh, and we're not muted.
Because this is not the thing that needs to be muted because you have it open. Close it.
I fixed it.
That will die because you closed the link.
Oh, well, you do it. Don't ask me to do things tech related. I'll just mess it up. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon for most of us. Happy Friday and all of that fun stuff. We are hanging out today and we're going to be talking about branding. Nate is not with us today because obviously social distancing and all that fun stuff. So, how's everybody doing?
I look like a skeleton today.
You know why? Because we got 5 hours of sleep.
You're right.
We got a whopping 5 hours of sleep, but we are here. We have very large coffees from the cute little coffee house up the street.
They make great coffee.
And hopefully, as the live stream goes on a little bit, we wake up as we go. So we're going to get energized together. Okay, let's see where everybody is. With being stuck indoors, how many are losing track of days? You are the third person to post something about not even knowing that today was Friday.
Yep, I didn't know today was going to be Friday. We went to bed a little bit late last night. And, yeah, I thought today was going to be Thursday.
Yeah, he was trying to convince me. He's like, no, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm like, no, it's definitely Friday. And since we didn't go to bed until like 4 something, we could like see it on our phone that it was already Friday. All right, guys. We're not going to be talking so much about the coronavirus today because everyone's sick of hearing about it and we covered it last week. If there are any new occurrences, we will let you know. The one thing I will say is that I have a 7-day email series linked down below that you guys can sign up for free. That email series is going to send you updates and 7 days worth of different emails that kind of talk about things that I'm doing to strategize, things that I'm doing for, I would say, mental health, things that I'm doing for my Etsy shop, and any news and updates that we receive from Etsy. Sorry, my nose is running really bad.
Yeah, he knew it was time for a live stream.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Time.
So if you guys are interested in that, you can get some activities for your kiddos. You can get information on shipping during the coronavirus. And anytime that there is a new update, I'll be adding to that 7-day email series to make sure that you guys don't miss anything. So the link to sign up for that is down below. If you sign up, you shouldn't be double subscribed to my list. So feel free to sign up and grab those emails. They'll send pretty much every day for 7 days. Other things that are down below, my summer survival guide is down below, and that is a free PDF that you guys can download and use to prepare for the slow summer season. However, it's going to be really great for right now too, because we are definitely having a slow season with the coronavirus and things slowing down a bit.
I think everybody is.
Right. So even though it's a summer survival guide, you can start applying it a little bit earlier than what we anticipated. So feel free to grab that PDF down below. Okay, so let's check our comments and then let's jump in.
A lot of people saying hi to Bubbers. For those of you who are a little bit newer to our channel, this is Bubbers. He's a good boy.
You can find lots of pictures of him on Instagram if you search hashtag the magical Bubbers. And he will probably hang out for a bit of the stream. Hello, Bubs. All right, guys. So, branding. You guys know that I can rant and rant and rant about branding. In fact, yesterday we did a live stream in the eRank group where Anthony did a Etsy shop cleanup Q&A, and he had me talk about branding, and I went on and on about it, as I do. And then I figured, okay, well, we'll just make that the Q&A topic or the Friday Bean topic for today. So how important is branding for your Etsy shop? Is it something that is actually going to make or break you? Or is it something that, you know, some people do just to go above and beyond? So we'll be talking about that in just a second. Carrie is here from Colorado. Let's see.
Got Michigan, so a couple people from Pennsylvania, 3 or 4, Southern California.
Cynthia said more emotional range than I can count on 2 hands. Glad we're changing the subject. Yeah, we're We're going to try to keep things, if we have news to tell you, we'll keep you updated on news. The only piece of news that I really have for you guys right now is if you are living in India, Etsy has advised sellers living in India to go ahead and put their shops on vacation mode because they are on a complete shutdown until, let's see, it's for 21 days, and I don't know when that started, and it is subject to be extended. So if you are living in India, right now is a really good time to put your shop on vacation mode and message your buyers. If you have any pending orders, let them know that you're going to have to wait to ship them, or ask them if they would like a refund. If you ship to India, I don't know if that is affected, but I would assume that it is, so that might be something to consider as well.
And please heed your government's advice, especially if you're in India. If some of you don't know, a good majority of the world's medication comes from India. So yeah, well, try to do your best not to spread it around. It's important.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, guys. So, in terms of branding, it's one of the things that I think that I'm most passionate about, and I think that that's primarily because branding is one of the only elements of business that's very abstract. So when we look at business, a lot of it is number crunching and data and things that are, how do I say this? They kind of conflict with that artistic mind that I think a lot of us have, especially when it comes to SEO and things like that. It's a little bit harder for artistic minds to grasp these things. And feel free to let me know if you're the weird exception who does well with most. But, for a lot of us, you either have that really creative artistic side or you really love data and numbers and crunching. So
Hello.
that's you. And
I like data.
I'm the mystical, abstract, artistic. I have a little bit of that data mindset just because
Yeah, you do,
I've
of
had
course.
to, but it's definitely not my passion. So
I'm a data nerd.
right, and that's why we do so well together, because you can crunch the numbers and I can make things look pretty. So, so the thing about branding and elements of your branding in terms of not just your visuals, but the way that people perceive you as a brand is branding is abstract and it doesn't fit into a square box. Much like art, there's no way to define what it needs to be. There's no check boxes that you need to tick. And that is what makes it so interesting and so psychologically compelling, while also being extremely hard for some brands to master. But once you understand your brand inside and out, you can kind of carry on everything that you do with the alignment to that branding that you've laid out. And when I'm talking about branding, guys, I'm not just talking about your logos and your fonts and your colors. Your brand,
I'm swirling my coffee. Keep going.
you're distracting me. Your brand is not something that you decide. Your branding is not something that you decide, I should say. Your branding is determined by those who view your brand and the way that they perceive it. Your branding is an abstract space that exists within the mind of a consumer. For example, if we had we'll say that you need to go buy like a workout shirt. I'll do like an example with you, so don't use your business mind on this, okay? Just
okay.
answer impulsively. You need to go buy a workout shirt.
Uh-huh.
And you go to like a sporting goods store and you see two displays, and one has Under Armour and one has Nike, and you go up to like two workout shirts and you touch them and you feel them and they're almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
But which one do you think would be more like you? Which one would you end up buying?
Under Armour.
Under Armour?
Mm-hmm.
And why is that?
Just the quality of products, but it's better.
But if they're the exact same shirt, they just have the logo.
Yep. Under Armour.
Even though they're the same shirt.
Yep.
Yep.
100%.
So
yep. I don't like Nike.
So, and here's the thing. Nike has aligned themselves with their brand and their branding in a way that represents, I would say sports are good imagery for Nike, and running, I would say good imagery for Nike. Basketball, good imagery for Nike.
Oh yeah, no,
Celebrities.
they've got great stuff going for them.
Yeah, celebrities.
And I should probably clarify. I don't dislike Nike because of the politics behind them. Just get that out of the way.
Okay.
I don't care about the politics in the sports industry whatsoever. So just
We
get
don't.
that out of the way so there's no hate comments for that.
We don't know anything about sports at all. So those are things that kind of represent Nike: sports, running. They're very classic. Celebrities wear them. But then we look at Under Armour as a brand, and I think of the military. I think of CrossFit. I think of Tough Mudder competitions.
CrossFit's a cool.
I think of tire flipping. I think of, I think more of like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So the person who's standing in front of those two shirts, whatever it is that they are aspiring towards, whether it be, maybe they want to play sports and maybe they want to see themselves in that light, they might gravitate towards the Nike products, whereas Under Armour might be, more suited for somebody who wants to do something a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah,
So,
Nike's more sports specific. Under Armour's more active lifestyle
right.
specific.
And that is just how they have targeted their audience through their branding and the type of commercials that they publish. Because Nike, all of their commercials, are very inspiring. You see athletes sweating, close-ups of shoes, inspirational quotes. And Under Armour, on the other hand, you see, like military guys running.
Everybody wears Under Armour. I mean, they even make military branded stuff. As a matter of fact, they've got under Oakley standard issue, which if you're ex-military or military, Oakley has special stuff just for military. Under Armour does as well, and they sell it through Oakley. They have like colored shirts and boots and all different kinds of stuff that are military specific that you can wear with your uniform.
But so like the overwhelming point here is that when two brands are seemingly identical, it's the branding that is going to be the determining factor as to what someone decides to purchase, because branding really defines authority, and branding helps you to build a strong presence so that you're recognized for something very specific. Even if your products are identical, it's the feelings that you put into your branding that all come together. And it's not just branding as in your logos and things. It's the way that we perceive that brand. It doesn't matter. Under Armour's logo and Nike's logos don't matter. It's the messaging and the things and the elements that they have tied to their brands that stick in our mind and provide that stick factor, right? So there are tons of brands that we can use as examples for this. I'm sure that you guys have, tons of brands in mind as well that you can start kind of thinking about. But I would do that in your free time when you have brands that you like, or you see brands on TV, or you're flipping through a magazine, or you see ads on Facebook. Start thinking about the way that their branding actually builds an overall perception. And what is their brand voice? What are they doing to win over their customers? Are they being funny? Are they being serious? We've been laughing a lot at oh man, there was a brand that just had a really funny ad that we were I believe it was a Harmon Brothers ad, which if you guys aren't familiar with the Harmon Brothers, they do the ads for the Squatty Potty with like the unicorn pooping.
God, I love their ads.
And the poopery commercials, and I think they did Purple Mattress as well. So those are all really great examples of funny brands that, they build that brand voice. All of these things contribute to branding, whether it's commercials, whether it's the way that you as a person talk about your brand, the way that you talk to your customers, the things that build that tone, the types of content that you post on social media, and the voice you use. Right now is a great time to start building brand perceptions, because you have the opportunity to show a side of yourself that you would never ever get to show, aside from our current state of the world. You can show compassion in a way that reaches out to the world as a whole. We have never had a time in our human history where every single human being is united in a way where we're all going through the exact same struggle, and you can be the person to offer that support to those in your community and make that a part of your brand presence. When we're talking about how Under Armour, we think about military and things like that. that becomes a part of their brand presence. So that compassion that you can create and tie into your brand can be a forever part of your own brand presence. You can claim it as your own, and it just becomes something that people think about when they think about your brand, or when they see your logo, or when they hear your brand come up in conversation, or when they see a Facebook post from you. Let's go ahead and catch up on comments, and then let's talk about.
We had any questions. Let's see. I'm an oddball. I'm a crafty southpaw, but I love my data. My degree is accounting, so I tend to get a bit overwhelmed with both. I can't figure out which to focus on. It's because you're using two totally different mindsets at the same time. It's really hard to be artistic and data minded at the same time. Let's see here. I'd pick Under Armour as well. Your chairs are back, much more comfy. We use the wood chairs because these have arms that stick out like this far on the sides, and it's impossible to put them side by side. I had actually thought about getting like a bench when we have the three of us, just like a soft bench to sit down. Let's see. Durham accounting background too, constantly fighting both sides of my brain. What does Mark's t-shirt say? I have no idea.
It's Rock Revival.
It's well, that doesn't say that anywhere.
I think that there were dark black parts of the logo underneath, but
yeah, it's a little bit of an older shirt now. But yeah, it's a Rock Revival shirt. I honestly don't know what it says, if it's even meant to say anything. Logo. No, it's their logo's two R's.
All right, so let's kind of going back to Etsy itself. What we did last night is we sat down on eRank.com in their top sellers report, which is available to pro members, and that's linked down below if you guys are interested in checking out who the top sellers on Etsy are right now. But what I wanted to do was go through those top sellers, the top 30. I went through 30 sellers, and I wanted to see which sellers out of the top 30 sellers on Etsy in the entire world, which ones had good branding, which ones didn't have good branding, and what was the cohesive element between what they sell. So who really needed to have good branding, and what type of shops didn't need to have good branding. And this is something, if you have an eRank Pro membership, this is something that all of you guys can do in the top sellers report. You guys can go through and analyze them, which I highly recommend doing, because it was actually really fun to go through and look at them. So there was only one type of seller that was able to pull off being a top out of 30, top 30 in the entire world after all these millions of sellers. These were the top sellers who did not need branding at all. Terrible branding, terrible logo, terrible banner, just no logo and banner at all for some of them, just awful. These were all supply shops that had thousands and thousands of items. Having all of those items is like having a tree with a million little roots that are just going out everywhere. Because they have so many items, they're casting such a big net when it comes to search, when it comes to Etsy search, because there are so many keywords floating around. How many keywords can you put in a single listing? Right? You can put a bunch, and then you are casting that item out, and then imagine you have 13,000 items all floating around on Etsy. So those are all, contributing. They did not need to have good branding, nor do I think they had time, to create good branding, just because obviously they're doing just fine for themselves. So unless you're a supply shop that has thousands of listings, all other shops who sold jewelry, who sold, there was one that did, they did seeds, like planting seeds, but they also did soap, I think it was like different soaps made out of, I can't remember what their primary ingredient was, but they had like this farmer's market vibe. They had fantastic branding. The planner shops, I think that the number one seller right now sells Planner Kate, I think is the shop name. And she has fantastic branding. All of these shops who actually want to be known for something, and they actually have a core foundation to their brand, have some type of visual branding in place. They have a logo and they have a branded banner. And almost all of these shops, other than I think one or two, had very professional, crisp, clear branding. So a nice banner that had, no blur to it. It's actually scaled correctly. Their logo looked like it was created professionally. It's not just something that they threw together on their own in Microsoft Paint.
Keep going.
Oh. Anyway, so when you think about the top 30 sellers on Etsy, and you know that only the ones who have that great branding are able to compete at the top, it really stumps me to know that there are some sellers out there who say things like branding on Etsy isn't important because Etsy itself is already branded. You're not building Etsy up. That shouldn't be the objective. You don't want to be seen as a part of Etsy. You don't want to be seen as just a limb on Etsy. You want to be seen as your own independent brand, your own company that exists within Etsy. Maybe you exist on your own website too, or maybe that brand also exists on Amazon. I mean, think about things that we need right now. Maybe you have a favorite toilet paper brand, and if it's available online anywhere, you're going to search every website for that specific brand. You're going to go to Amazon, you're going to go to walmart.com, you're going to go to target.com, you might even go to eBay, but you're going to look for that specific brand because that's what you're familiar with. And shoppers are going to do the exact same thing, especially if something were to happen to, say, your Etsy shop and it were to get shut down, or if for some reason Etsy were to disappear, which I doubt that's ever going to happen, but what if? So you want to make sure that it is your brand's foundation that you're building, and that you are doing so through visual elements and through invisible elements. Visible elements, of course, being a logo, a banner, the way that you photograph your products, and making sure that everything just flows together in a really nice, cohesive way. And then those invisible branding elements are going to be things like your voice on social media, the way that you communicate with customers, and even the reviews that are seen in your Etsy shop all contribute to your invisible branding. So these are all things that will build that perception in the minds of your customers. We want to be associated with something, some type of core feeling, some type of foundation, and we want to make sure that it's not just something that we see as the creators. We want to make sure that outwardly our audience feels it too. So every time they come in contact with your brand, we want them to have a specific feeling, similar to how Nike, we feel, sports and things like that. And Under Armour, we think like military and working out and CrossFit, even though none of those things have to do with the logos and the products themselves, because they have virtually the same products. So let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about branding. I could go on forever about brand psychology. It's probably my favorite piece of business just because it's so abstract.
One person did have a question.
Yeah.
How do you handle another designer replicating not only your products, but your personal branding and online presence?
The thing is, branding is a very personal thing.
Yes.
You create it based on your own experiences. You create it based on your customers, and your customers create it as well, because what they're saying about your brand and their reviews and the way that they're interpreting your brand as a whole, all of those things tie in. Those are the things that another business cannot take from you. They cannot take how your customers feel about you. They cannot take your reviews and use them to their benefit. They cannot take your passion for your brand and use it. And yes, it sucks when copycats come out. You can always try to report them to Etsy. I know that doesn't always work. No matter what, there are going to be copycats. I hate to say it.
For everyone, for every single one of you, once you get to a certain point, at some point you will have a copycat or an attempted copycat for most people. But every once in a while, there's a good one.
Right. And we have them too. We've had them
tons of times
for years, years and years. And it's one of those things where you really have to decide where you're going to put your mental energy. Are you going to spend that time stressing? Or are you going to say, catch me if you can, which is what I do. A lot of the times I have people who will message me through my Etsy shop and say, hey, I was browsing Etsy. I just wanted to let you know that I saw this shop totally copied one of your designs. And I'll go to the shop and I'll see that they have like 36 sales or something. And I'll reply back to the person and I'll say, well, you know what? If they can surpass me in sales, if they can surpass me in branding, if they can surpass me in SEO, in product photos, in social media, in customer communication, in reviews, in my email list, in my brand presence, then they deserve to make more sales than me and they deserve to be above me. But until that day, catch me if you can, because nobody's going to pass me, you know, if all they're doing is just replicating what I do. That's not a success formula. You have to be able to have that passion.
Not to mention, like, what are the odds that the algorithm's going to treat them exactly the same, and the people that they're gathering up are going to be the same people? They're not really going to damage your business all that much. And I mean, make sure it's not coincidental too. I mean, you gotta think there's only so many color schemes you can use, and so many ways that you can take a picture of a certain type of product before things start to look a little bit similar. It's a little different when you can tell that they just kind of copied and pasted your description section and changed a few words to make it theirs, like you did with high school reports.
Yep.
But I don't think too hard on it. But if you are going to go through with like the route of reporting, make sure you have like good solid evidence that they're doing what they're doing and that it's not just coincidental, because there's a lot of people on Etsy. And there is a pretty good chance that somebody might make a shop that looks almost identical to yours, but never have even seen your shop before.
And keep in mind the things that you do that you do outwardly against brands that copy you, those tie into your branding as well.
People are going to see it.
Right. I see a lot of sellers who will get on their social media and they will say, oh, you know, this brand, this Etsy seller has been copying my work. Can you all go to their Etsy shop and report them? Or can you all go message this person and, you know, and let them know that what they're doing isn't cool?
I believe that's a crime in the US now. Don't do that.
Or go to their social media and report all of their posts, you know, things like that. What you're doing is you're showing your insecurity to the masses and letting them know that you are intimidated by people who are trying to, and that should be a brilliant sign to your competitors, because if you are emotionally driven when it comes to your business to the point where you're making decisions out of emotion rather than analyzing those decisions and, you know, trying to make a good business decision that will positively impact your branding, and you're just mad and you're making that post on Facebook, what that shows other brands is that you are not a stable leader. You are shaky. You are not feeling secure standing, you know, up on your throne, and there is a position that can be taken away from you. People aren't going to want to follow the brand that is second guessing themselves. That's why during all of the coronavirus outbreak and things, we're not jumping on here and saying, "Oh man, you guys, this is awful. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. You guys are going to, you know, you're not going to see any sales right now. It's going to suck and we're all going to be, you know, screwed for a couple months." We're not doing that. What we're doing is saying, hey, things might slow down a little bit, but that's a good thing. It means that you're home. You guys are able to work from home. You can spend more time learning. Here's some resources for you. Here's an email list where we have all these free things. Here's some videos for you guys. This is an opportunity for you guys to take this time and use it wisely. And that is our way of saying, you know, during this very uncertain time, we are solid, and we are solid for you guys. You have to be that for your own brands, where you're not apologizing for anything or making them feel, you know, feel like there's uncertainty. And that goes with everything. It goes with, right now shipping your products is something where there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't want to make customers feel like you don't have a plan. You don't want them to place an order, their order disappears, and you're just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Call your post office. I have no idea. They just want to be able to contact you in these events and know that they are taken care of, just like you would if you ordered something on Amazon and your order didn't arrive. I don't understand why sellers, why that's hard to grasp, or why you feel like you're giving in. Oh, don't give in to the buyer. Don't let the buyer boss you around. It's not bossing you around. It's expecting the same treatment from any platform that you make a purchase from, and better treatment on Etsy, because you're dealing with a person. But all of these things tie in, and you want to make sure that you are the person who always has a plan, or always appears to have a plan even when you don't. Mark and I are making this stuff up as we go when it comes to the coronavirus, because we've never been through anything like this. Neither of you guys. We're giving you guys our best advice when it comes to this, because there is no frame of reference for anyone. Nobody has one. And it's the same, for all of you guys when it comes to how you communicate with your buyers right now. And like I said, all these things tie back to your brand as a whole. So I know that was like a question that I went off on like a tangent, but
It's all good.
all right, what do we have? Love Starla's eyeshadow. Thank you.
Where are the
Very
top
purple.
sellers on Etsy listed?
There's actually, okay, so you have to have an eRank Pro membership to access it, but the link, if you have Pro, is down below. So you can click on the link if you have an eRank Pro membership, and it will take you directly to the top sellers report that will have all of the top sellers. We only analyze the first 30. I think that that's more than enough, the top 30 in the world.
Yeah, if you need to look at more than that.
But feel free to, because they're there.
Yeah, go for it.
Feel free to, because I'm sure that you'll find that most of the ones that are performing well, that don't have branding in place, sell some type of supply or charm or bead,
or have
fabric.
been around since like the dawn of time.
That too.
I've had shops start copying my style of photos, and my response was, "I must be doing something right." Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. It's all a mindset thing when it comes to the copycats, right? Because like you're either gonna get super defensive because you're nervous that somebody might take your competition, or you're gonna take it as a compliment. That's like one of the only two ways you can really look at that. It's so personal to create, and one can't really help like you've been assaulted. So I totally get why people post out of emotion when they're being copied. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, never post anything out of emotion, business or personal life.
Sit on it for a day if you have to, or ask someone else to respond on your behalf, maybe like a spouse or a friend.
That's like one of those old things, like don't talk to your ex when you're sad.
Yeah.
Don't post that. Don't post when you're feeling angry or sad.
Don't text your ex when you're drunk, type thing. Like,
Yeah. Don't do things out of emotion ever. If you're not feeling it, stay away from it.
And treat yourself when you're in an emotional state. If it's anger, if it's depression, treat it like you were drunk. What would you do if in this moment, you were drunk? Would you advise that you sit on Facebook and post things? Probably not. That's never a good idea. So it's a state of mind that is not normal to how you would normally behave. And we act that way when we're sad. We act that way when we're mad. We act that way when we are in, an elevated state. So we'll say like after you've been drinking, things like that. These are times when you don't want to be trying to represent your brand. You don't want to be representing your business. Just like if you were drunk, you wouldn't be sitting trying to, create marketing photos or create, ads for your business page. I would hope. I'm sure that there's some people who could probably get drunk and do it, but I know that we're definitely not one of them. So, Mama's Milk Shop said, I had a website steal my cup photos, even a photo from a customer review. Is there a way to report it somewhere since it's off Etsy? So these shops, there are these businesses or these fake brands that create ads, and they steal Etsy photos. We see it a lot of the times. I follow art dolls, which are really cool, like basically very expensive stuffed animals that look like real animals.
Or fantasy creatures
Yeah,
too.
yeah, different fantasy creatures and things. And most of them that I follow are Russian Etsy sellers. I don't know why Russia has such amazing art doll artists, but almost all of them come from Russia.
Most of, like in history, you look at super artistic dolls, and most of them are Russian.
Yeah, they're some of my favorite artists.
They're
are.
good at doll making.
So I follow all these brands, but then I see them all over the place where these $600 to $800 art dolls on Etsy have had their photos stolen, and there's an ad for them on Facebook, and all of the reviews from that product from the Etsy shop have been stolen and put on there. But the companies are not actually shipping a product. So if they're taking your reviews and your photos, they're most likely not shipping a product. And yes, it sucks. The one thing that you can do is go through and you can maybe post the link in the comments to your actual products. They'll most likely delete it. That's fine. But as for trying to take them down,
You're going to have a real hard time. I had somebody, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but I did have somebody message us probably about a month or two ago, because there was a Chinese website that was doing that, where they literally took pictures, reviews, descriptions, literally everything directly off of Etsy. And you can do searches and find out who the website is registered through, and then you can figure out what company runs that registry, and you can try to contact them. And 99% of the time they're Chinese, and that's not like a race thing, but the majority of the time, every single one that I've been presented with or asked about has been Chinese. Every single one of them, including people that have done it to us. So there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, unfortunately.
they're not shipping anything. So it's not a competitor. They're
However, there is a new type of thing that people are doing. It's not really new. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of it with Etsy, but what they'll do is they'll create a website where they'll take all of that information and your photos and stuff, and they will backlink your product to their website. So basically, somebody will buy your product on their website for more than what you're charging plus shipping, and it will place the order on Etsy. It will get shipped to them, and then they ship it to the person, which is totally legal in every country in the world right now. But it's a little harder on websites that have a calculated shipping instead of like a flat shipping fee. So I don't really see it a lot with Etsy yet. So just keep in mind that some of them are legit websites, and with those, there's nothing you can do about it.
Is there a tool to find out the top sellers in your specific niche? Yes, that is in the top sellers report. It's actually, I went ahead and went to it a second ago. It's in Browse Top Sellers by category. And Nate and I recently redid all of the images on that report. So you can go into eRank if you have a pro membership and check out the new images that represent those categories on eRank. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure that you guys know this, but I also work for eRank now as well. That wasn't like, I always am nervous like telling people that. It wasn't like a, oh, we need money thing. It was more of a, oh, I help Anthony out. Like I work for him anyway. So he's like, do you want me to just start paying you? So that's kind of what happened, but I don't get like paid commission for recommending it. It's still just a tool that I use nonstop. All right.
Hi, Starla and Mark. Do you recommend paying for advertising in this time of uncertainty, Etsy ads? And should we promote our business for spring shopping in our banners?
So, right now is probably not the best time to invest a bunch of money into advertising. Etsy's offsite ads will not be charging until April. A couple sellers have reported seeing some charges for ads, and I don't want to count anyone out. Feel free to let me know if you are still being charged for offsites. What I think is happening a lot of the times is that people think that their promoted listings are or their actual like regular Etsy ads that they would normally pay for are what they're getting for free. But it's the offsite ads platform that should be free for a little while to us that Etsy's going to be covering. But anyway, right now is not a good time to promote with money. People aren't buying right now. I'm not going to cover the numbers because I don't know them, like I don't have them memorized. But Anthony Wolf showed me a couple days ago what Etsy as a whole, like what sales are looking like, and it's not good right now. It's very bad, and it's bad for pretty much every website. All if you
Every industry.
yeah, and
Our opinions vary on this. However, you
yeah,
can go ahead and finish yours.
yeah. When it comes to, you know, clothing and things like that, if you notice your inboxes, you're getting a lot of sales, you're getting a lot of coupons right now. There are a lot of brands that are trying to drive traffic because nobody's making sales unless you're making, you know, hand soap or hand sanitizer, and things like that. There aren't a lot of people out shopping right now because there's a lot of uncertainty, and anytime there's uncertainty, even in the United States around election time, sales drop off for that exact reason. People are holding on to their money for a little while. Now, what we've talked about with Anthony Wolf is that after a while, people are going to start getting bored, and they're going to be sitting at home for months and months, and they're going to start wondering, okay, what, you know, I'm starting to feel a little bit more secure with my finances. What can I do with my money now? You know, how can I start spending my money now? And we want to be ready for that. So right now is the time when we need to plan ahead. We need to start thinking ahead. We need to start using our time that we have to grow our Etsy shop, as in get our branding established, make sure that we polish up the photos that we've been, you know, procrastinating on, and start creating products that you can promote, you know, later down the line. Get your Halloween line done. Get your Christmas line for 2020 finished. You guys can get these products ready now, or at least get them planned out. So I would absolutely recommend start planning for the future, but still carry on with business as usual, unless, you know, some shipping restrictions end up popping up through this crisis, which if they do, that's fine. We'll do what we're told to do, and then we will pick back up when we're allowed to pick up. This isn't the end of the world. And then should we promote our businesses for spring shopping in our banner? Sure. I don't see why not. Feel free to, you know, if you want to change your banner and make it seasonal, just make sure that you stay true to your branding. That's one thing that I do notice, is that sometimes people will stray from their branding just to grab a Easter photo or a Christmas photo that has nothing to do with their overall brand. You want to make sure that even if you are adding seasonal elements, your overall brand message stays the same. A really good example of this is Tiffany & Co. use their Tiffany blue, white, and black branding for all of their marketing year round. But around Valentine's Day, they will add a little bit of pink, a little pink heart into their marketing photos. Just really subtle. And these are the things that we should also be doing as well for our own branding.
And what I was saying before you went off there, I'm actually in a different mindset when it comes to the advertising because, as you said, you know, people are going to start getting bored. But the problem is, and if you think it, because obviously I'm a data nut, think of it kind of like investing. Like, we know that the economy is going to blow back up, but the problem is you don't know when the economy is going to blow back up. You don't know when people are going to start spending money. And the thing about people in the United States is the second they start getting news that things are going to return to normal, they're going to jump the gun. They're going to start spending their money before it's actually okay to start doing so. So I'm more in the mindset of don't like increase stuff to try to push sales. Don't increase the amount of money that you're spending on advertising. But me personally, I would probably just keep my advertising the same, assuming that you've got the budget and the money set aside for if this continues, because you never know with this virus thing, this could continue for a long time. So if you don't, if you don't have the money to continue running ads, cut them. But if you have the money, if you have excess money put back that's specifically for this kind of thing, that you can still financially support yourself and buy food and do your bills and all that kind of stuff, I personally would continue advertising. But that's just two different ways of looking at the data. So take that how you will. Sorry, off topic, but if We filled out a survey last month, I think, about handmade businesses. Do you know if the results are in? I don't know if I've missed it.
Yeah, I just pulled that up. It was the State of Handmade did a huge survey of online businesses, and their website says that the results will be emailed to us in early April. So keep an eye out for that. We will be analyzing those results together when we receive them by email. I would like to do a Friday Bean topic about those. So.
This is normally my slow time of the year, but I'm up 20% for the month. But some of my competition have put their shops on vacation. That might be just based on location. They might not be able to get to a post office, so they have to.
A lot of sellers are putting their shops on vacation right now. I've noticed just because there's uncertainty and they don't know. If you're to the point where you're just so stressed out and it's not going to break your bank to not have your shop open, it might be better for your mental state to put it on vacation mode, but that's only if it's not going to kill your finances.
It might be better for the people around you too, so you're not having to drive to and from more stores. The more you can stay at home, the better. I'm on that boat.
Or you can schedule pickup for if you.
Yep, leave your stuff on your front door, and the mail guy will come pick it up. Just make sure you're somewhere nearby to make sure some weirdo doesn't come steal your stuff.
Yeah, you can schedule package pickup. Let's see.
I just read that one. I'm torn with branding. My shop is Purple Peacock Candles, as I originally only sold candles. I added incense a few years ago, and they've taken off. I hardly sell any candles. I would like to add more candles to my shop and sell them also, as I feel they are in the same realm. Or should I start a new shop?
No, there's no reason to split those products up. They're
aromatics, regardless.
Yeah,
right?
those go together. Let's see. Should I call myself Purple Peacock Incense? I've created a logo for the incense, but I'm not sure where to go. My shop is successful, so it would be easier to sell candles in an established shop, I think. Yeah,
find something in the middle ground. If you can't go with just like Purple Peacock, you could go with like Purple Peacock Aromatics or Purple Peacock Scents. Or
I disagree. You don't need to change your name at all. Your name doesn't need to have what you sell. McDonald's isn't.
I wasn't saying she needed to. I was just saying like if you're set on changing your name, make it something universal so you don't have to do it again in the future.
Yeah, I think that brands are actually a little bit stronger when they don't have what they sell in the name. Google isn't called Google search engine. You know, McDonald's isn't called McDonald's hamburgers. You know, you don't need to have what you sell in your name. What you need to have is a strong brand presence. And I believe that we spoke at Bitchcraft Fair in October, Alice, and my suggestion had been you really narrow in on your branding. I think that there's a lot that you could do with your product photos, and I think that there's a lot that you could do to polish up your overall branding of your shop, because when I think of incense, I think of almost, you know, kind of like a mystical aesthetic, and you could totally keep peacock feathers in there. But right now your branding is kind of, it's cute. You've got like a cute little cartoony peacock, and I could almost see that as being a good logo for someone who sells maybe like painted wine glasses or charm bracelets or something like that. But when I see your logo, I do not think incense. And your branding colors. So I think that there's a lot that could still be done. What I would recommend is, if you haven't already, put it into the hands of a professional. Hop on Fiverr.com, Fiverr, and hire out a designer or more than one. It's always good to have a couple different.
Yeah, read through the descriptions. Don't just hire a random one, because for every good artist, there's 5 crappy ones. So just read things.
Pay a couple dollars and have somebody create something new for you. Pay a couple different artists. Maybe pay them each, you know, give everybody a little $20 budget and pick some of your favorites, and then choose the logo in the end that you're the most happy with. That would be one way to do it. Just, there are always things that you can do, though. Let's see.
I have to sell a lot of incense to make the margin that I would with one candle.
I see no reason that you couldn't still sell candles. What I would do is,
more people buy candles than incense.
Well, right? We don't have
I can almost guarantee you that more people in the world buy candles than incense.
Yeah, so. maybe what could you do? You're obviously selling, so what could you do to really make your candles sell out? Maybe you're just not pushing your candles hard enough. Maybe you need to create more social media presence where you're talking more about your candles. What other marketing are you doing for candles other than listing them on Etsy? Listing on Etsy is not marketing. What are you doing to market those candles? All right, we had some in-between
I was planning
questions.
on doing a spring launch. Should I postpone it to the fall and do the fall launches instead?
No, there's no reason to
No.
postpone a launch. You
Especially if it's a spring launch, it's probably spring themed, I would imagine. So
Yep. Maybe you could make less product if necessary.
that's the safe bet. It's a way you can at least keep yourself in the green.
Yeah, and if they're products that could be sold, in the fall, or if they're not spring themed and you think that they could sell maybe as Christmas gifts, there's no harm in going ahead and, launching a collection. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Don't let things like this win, if that makes sense. Don't make yourself appear like you have to be weaker because something crazy is going on in the world. Your shop can still maintain normalcy. That's the most important thing, especially for your mental health, is to just maintain as much of the normalcy as possible. You're already not going to stores as often. You're not going out to eat. You're not having gatherings with your friends. You're not having family gatherings. You're not doing all of these things. And just moving away from doing your launches and not work, that's not good for your mental health. So if you can afford to continue and still do a launch, like she said, with less product, if you have to, still do a launch. Show your customers that you're a normal person, that like you're not gonna let this virus take over your normal life,
Right.
because this is gonna go away.
Susan said, what's your opinion about using eRank until you get the keywords that fit your product and then discontinue the membership? What other benefit is there other than finding keywords? So I'm going to answer the first question. Say that you get your eRank subscription and you pay for it, and then you decide to cancel it because you already have all your keywords done. The thing is, keyword research changes. So your results that you received from eRank when you first did that keyword research, that changes monthly. That completely changes depending on the month. In November, if you see that everybody's searching for Santa Claus pillow in November, you can't do your SEO in November and think that Santa Claus pillow is still going to get like 14,000 searches throughout the rest of the year. That's not going to happen. You have to go back and check it frequently. And eRank, and this is me being like, this is my passionate rant, because not just because I work for eRank, but because I have recommended eRank for years, and because it's the only SEO service that I know of that has customers in mind, that is low cost, and that constantly evolves based on customer needs. When there are new ideas, I'm usually one of the people who's in charge of developing those new ideas to make them possible for you guys. I'm one of the people who actually creates those ideas for you, or makes them tangible so that the real developers are able to create it and make it real. So the thing about eRank is there are so many tools on the platform that are going to help your business, not just SEO research. But what eRank does is it takes those steps out of the equation. Right now, what we're doing is we're creating a way for you guys to be able to save the keywords that you use in your listings into a nice big list. That way you don't constantly have to go in and search them to see how things change seasonally. You'll be able to go and watch each month how those keywords are being searched depending on what month it is, and you can save them all in a list. So that's something that you have to look forward to. We have a lot of other tools that are in the works, that will be coming soon. Other benefits that you have that I really enjoy is the monitor tool, where you can actually choose your listings that you want to monitor and watch. And you can see how, if you make an SEO change to your listing, you can see every single day how that change affected your views, your favorites, and your sales. So maybe you say, like, 30 days ago you added a new keyword into your listing. Every single day eRank takes a snapshot of the progress of that listing, so that you can say, okay, I made a change on Thursday, and then on Friday I had a bunch of new views, and then on Saturday I had like 3 new favorites, and then on Sunday I made a sale from it. So I know that that was a positive change. Or, you make an SEO change and then you can watch your views drop and you say, oh crap, maybe I should go back and put that keyword back in my listing. There are so many benefits to eRank. I think that if you guys are in a financially strapped position and you need to, lay off on making, your eRank payments, Anthony would encourage you to go ahead and cancel until you can feed yourself. But on a coaching perspective, coronavirus times aside, it is the only tool that I think that every single Etsy seller should have for their handmade business. And I don't say that very often because I try to keep things free for you guys. Everything that I offer or that I recommend to you guys is free. I really push free resources, but that's the one thing that everyone should be paying for. And there's going to be
spend money to make money.
Yeah,
I mean that fact will hold true throughout your entire time in business. You're gonna have to spend money to make money, and it's not very much either.
No, and Anthony and I were talking about it, and he's going to be pushing out a plan very shortly to help those who can't afford the $10 a month membership, and it's going to be $5.99 a month. So we've talked about people who are actually struggling and they can't even afford that $10 a month, and we're going to be creating another plan, hopefully in the next week or so, 1 week to 2 weeks, and it's going to be $5.99 with just a few less benefits, but things that you wouldn't normally get with your free plan. So that's something that you guys have to look forward to. I'm taking your guys' feedback when it comes to eRank, the things that you guys say, man, I wish that we had this, and I'm immediately running to Anthony with these things and saying, can we make this happen? So this was the benefit of me joining the team.
eRank is very community run, as much as people might not actually be able to see that, what goes on in the background. Y'all are what makes eRank what it is.
Yeah, and if you guys have suggestions for eRank, things that you would like to see happen, tools that you'd like to see made, all you guys have to do is get a hold of me. My email is starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. Send me an email.
I will personally request that you actually look through all of the tools and get to know eRank before you ask for something, because like for the majority of stuff, eRank's pretty well thought out. So what you're looking for might already exist or might already be in the works. So do some digging before you ask for stuff, so we don't get a million emails for things that already exist.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get our last minute questions.
Lightning round here. I had a problem signing in on the website. It wouldn't let me log in, but I know for a fact my email's on the system. Who should they email for eRank help, sweetheart?
You're having trouble signing in on eRank?
Having trouble logging in on eRank.
Your best bet would to go ahead and pop into the eRank group on Facebook and maybe post something in there, since you won't have access to the feedback button if you're not signed in. Either that or just request a password change if you're sure that if your email is correct. Or it says that your email isn't. Yeah, I would pop into the eRank group on Facebook and ask.
How would you go about a slight brand change on Instagram and other social media? Make an announcement post?
Yeah, I mean,
on the Alpha Academy website.
Yeah.
Okay, send me an email at support@handmadealphaacademy.com every Friday.
Sorry. It's the alarm to give the dog her medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Slight brand change on Instagram and social media. I mean, just do it. Just pull the Band-Aid off and do it. You could make it a celebration. You could make it something fun, but overall, it's not something that you're using to like boost sales or anything like that. So just do it.
Yeah, Luminaria, again, if it's on the Handmade Alpha Academy, support@handmadealphaacademy.com. I'll take care of you after the live stream.
Yes. Any...
Amber says I self-isolate every day. Yeah, me too, yo. I'm a gamer. This is like the best time ever for me.
All right. Starla, did you get my email today? I did, but I have not done anything before this.
Prepping for this. No.
Yeah. Fridays, we don't do anything until we have done this.
How much should our social media posts to promote our products versus life posts? Positive stuff about what's going on, or engagement posts?
It's just balance. There's no like secret.
Yeah, there's no magic number for that.
You don't want, if someone goes to your Instagram, they shouldn't see more not product related or not business related photos than they see business photos. You never want them to go to your page and say, what the heck is this page about? You want them to go and immediately know.
Like lifestyle stuff's good too. I mean, lifestyle business related stuff.
With your products involved.
With your products involved. Like you sitting in your workspace, or you answering emails, or, corny pictures that you didn't take but are somehow your photos. Those kind of things,
The best brand that you guys can use for inspiration for this is our own Paula Haas. She was a Handmade Alpha Academy student, and she has probably one of the most amazing Etsy business models ever. This girl made, man, what was it? It was like something ridiculous, like $60,000 for, I can't remember what it was, but she made $16,000 $16,000 or $18,000 on Black Friday, year before last, I believe, following Handmade Alpha Academy. But anyway, Clean and Dirty Natural Skincare. It's CLN and DRTY, Clean and Dirty Natural Skincare on Instagram. Go follow hers because she has a great balance of personal and product.
Amber, that was the last question.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Amber said, big tip, go live. Yeah, right now is a great time to practice your live streaming skills on your Facebook, on your Instagram, wherever you want to stream live. It's a great time to practice. Everybody's at home right now, and it's only going to grow for the next few months or the next few weeks at the very least. It's only going to be more and more people staying at home. So
exactly. All right, guys, we've got some links down below for you. If you would like to sign up to receive some emails from me concerning different coronavirus updates, things that you guys can do to keep your mindset positive, activities that you guys can do for your kids. That way they have something to do while you get work done. And any news pertaining to selling on Etsy and the coronavirus. We actually have a little email series for you guys. It is 7 days long as of right now. However, we may add emails to that series if we get news from Etsy, like if shipping gets shut down or if we have any crazy restrictions that you guys need to know about, I will add to that series. But you can sign up for that down below. I'm not going to be sending it to my normal email list. I'm only going to be sending it to this one because a lot of people just don't want to hear any more about coronavirus.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
But I do feel like when it comes to updates with Etsy, it's something that you guys need to know. And I know that those things can sometimes be missed. So feel free to grab that. My summer sales PDF is also down below. That is going to help prepare you for the slow summer season. However, since a slow season is kind of hit us with coronavirus, you can actually start applying it right now. So feel free to grab that PDF down below. If you guys are not a member of the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, make sure to join. Facebook link is down below to that. Totally free to join that and hang out with our alphas. We hit 8,000 members this week. So that's super duper fun.
And if you like our content, if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe. Little red button that says subscribe. If it's gray, you've already subscribed. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of our videos, if you are subscribed, there's a little bell icon down below the video somewhere. Click that and it'll notify you every time we upload a video or we go live. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. It's the only way we can judge whether or not you guys like our content.
Yeah, there's 86 of you here right now, and we have 16 likes.
Leave us some comments, leave us some love, and thanks for watching.
Let's see if we can get it to 20 likes before the stream ends, because I have 2 more things to say. Last thing is that Handmade Alpha Academy is going to be still opening on June 14th. I've had a couple people who are really upset because they think that we're not going to open it with the state of the world. We are still going to be opening on June 14th. If things, I think that we're going to try to keep things as normal as possible when it comes to our launch schedule, because we only open twice a year. So if you guys are interested in joining Handmade Alpha Academy, where I personally will be your coach, and you can, I lost my train of thought.
Just gone.
Did you remember like during Harry Potter when Dumbledore like pulls like the thought like out of his head and there it went.
We're gonna open Handmade Alpha Academy and we're gonna attempt to keep things as normal as possible as far as our schedule goes. We're gonna continue making all the content that we do, continue making all the calendars and guides and Black Friday stuff and holiday stuff, and that's all gonna stay the same as long as we don't get it. So
yeah. And here's the thing: if we get coronavirus, I'm 20.
You don't even know how old you are.
20.
You're 28.
Yeah, you don't know how old I am either.
Because you just had a birthday.
I'm 28, and you're 28. Ooh, you're almost 29.
I'm almost 29.
Ew. So I think that we'll be okay. Our immune systems are pretty kick-ass.
Well, you got your 20 likes double over there. We're at 41.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. So
you guys, that just means that more Etsy sellers are going to get to see our content. The more likes and dislikes that we get, the more the algorithm's gonna like us.
Yep.
So
The waiting list for Handmade Alpha Academy is linked down below as well. You guys can sign up for that. You can click on that link to read a little bit more about it and watch a video from our students if you're curious as to what it is and what it includes. And joining that waiting list does not mean that you have to buy it when it opens. It just makes sure that you are the first to know when it opens. So feel free to sign up for that. I believe that it still says December as the enrollment period in the confirmation email. Just ignore the typo. We haven't figured out where the bug in the system is, but we will be fixing that. So that link is down below. Very last thing is we forgot last week to announce our Bean of the Week. You know that? We forgot our Bean of the Week. So Linda Sue was our Bean of the Week last week, and she will be our Bean of the Week this week. Linda Sue makes awesome Native American inspired jewelry. You can find her shop linked down below. I have one of her pendants that I really, really love. So be sure to go show Linda Sue some love and congratulate her in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Let's see, do you ever get HTA applicants that are using grant
we
money?
are not a state or federally accredited academy. So if people have used grant money to pay for our course, I don't know, but you shouldn't because we're not accredited. So don't do that.
Yeah. Not.
This you can't really get accredited for being a guidance course for a website.
Right. We do have lots of alphas who join Handmade Alpha Academy straight out of college, and they say that they learn more hands-on material for their actual business from Handmade Alpha Academy than they ever did in college, which when I spoke at college last month, I kind of realized that they don't teach a lot of the essential things like building a funnel, and they couldn't tell me what branding was. So that was very strange, but you know.
All right. Angela, we don't do specific shop critiques.
Not for this stream, at least.
Not for this stream. We do we do those streams like once a year.
Usually in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. So feel free to join that down below. All right, guys. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, for helping us to keep things mostly normal. And thankfully, this time we didn't accidentally show them porn. If you guys want to know what we're talking about, we had a big
That's
oopsie.
not my fault. I have always said to Google it. Don't type it directly into your browser.
Leave some mystique. Don't explain. If you guys want to know what we were talking about, watch last week's video where Mark accidentally sent an alpha to porn instead of a link that was not supposed to be porn. It was the very embarrassing moment in alpha history, and we decided to leave the video up. So watch last week's stream. It's right at the end, and leave a sympathy thumbs up on that video as well. Have an amazing weekend, and we will hopefully see you this upcoming Friday.
Goodbye.
Building a funnel? Ooh, maybe that can be next week's topic. Building a funnel?
Maybe.
Funnels next week? Let us know.
Goodbye.
See you later. Bye.